Hello everyone, in this video I am going to show you how to create a concept based illustration in the app IBIS Paint X. So I am creating a cartoon style illustration based on a concept. So for creating some cartoon like texture I am using the Japanese paper as a background, and I'm going to draw a line first of all, like a golden line full of glowing, a shiny lion. So what is the concept here is, recently, few days back, we saw India versus Pakistan match where India won the match in the T20 2022, and the man of the match was Virat Kohli. He gave a very good shot, so to represent Virat Kohli as a king. I'm just creating this illustration. So basically, I'm not a sports person, but and I didn't know what's match is going on. But when I saw so many status related to these, like many put status on WhatsApp like King is back, once a king, always a king, King Kohli, like that. I saw so many status, WhatsApp status, and when I searched what's going on, and I came across, I realized that what's happening. So I thought, why can't we create a concept-based illustration based on that? So the king means usually we were say a lion. So since here the Virat Kohli is the king, so I'm going to represent Virat as a lion. So for that, I'm just creating a lion like cartoon lion like portrait with a crown on his head and with a flag, Indian flag at the back side, and a little bit of abstract flowers to add some more um, you know appealing look to the concept. So for that, first I'm just creating the line mainly. So for the line I just created a separate layer for the head, hair, hands, and the legs and tail, and then now I'm adding eye details. So these, first I draw a white color eye area and used alpha lock to draw the remaining brown and black details to this. So I used lasso fill tool for this drawing, for creating the basic shapes for the line. So then I'm just adding the hair details, like a shiny glossy hair details. For this I'm using a separate layer, clipping layer with the air blending mode, and using the brush for or grass brush. So this brush is really awesome to create like forex details. So then what I'm going to do is I'm adding some more hair details to make it look more details, add more details. For this I'm using round brush normal, and then now I added the details for the hair, and now I'm going to add the same glowing details to the face. So I just created a new layer and using soft pastel brush with force fade on, and the layer blending mode is add. So basically I'm going to add the highlights to this. So I'm making the face little bit fresh, like bright at the center near the eyes, and then I'm going to add some blush to the face. You can see I just added a little bit blush. Then I'm going to add the highlight details for the nose and eyes as well. So I just used some like bright beige-like color to add this. And the blending mode of this layer is add blending mode. So then I'm adding more highlights near the nose, and then I'm going to add details to the eyes. So first, with a big single stroke, I made some texture, and with a very small brush size, I'm adding these details and just adding a little bit of light to that retina. So now it is ready. Then I'm going to add the details for the nose as well. So if you want to create as cartoon style illustration with more textures, I recommend you to use soft pastel brush, especially with the force fade on. So this brush gives really a good texture to the illustration. And one more tips is you can use the background, like I'm using the Japanese paper background. You can try any other different background and check out which one you like the most, because the texture highly influence the art. The without texture it looks like a blank one, so I recommend to use such textures to make it more appealing. So then I'm adding the same details with the same fur or grass brush for the hands and the legs as well. So here I'm using some dark color to add some leg details, but I'm not more concentrating much on the legs because I'm going to add the grass in front of the in lion, so I'm not concentrating that much on the leg and hand details. So then I'm adding some darkness around, inside the corners of the eyes. So I'm using like a brownish color, and the brush is soft pastel as always. So then I am done with all this, and I'm just adding some hairs. So for this I'm using the pen hard brush. So the basic line with details is almost ready. So then we'll add more concept to this. So I feel like it is more blank near the face, so I'm adding a little bit darkness to it. So basically the main two things for the art is highlights and shadow that you must concentrate. So for the highlight means the bright shining glowy thing. For that you have to use the add blending mode layer. It's maybe a clipping layer or a normal layer, but the blending mode must be add to create that highlights. And to add the darker details you can go with linear burn blending mode layer, and that gives really darkness whatever the color of the background art we can match upon with that. So this two parts is really important. So now I'm adding the ears, and I want it to be like some little bit behind the hair. So I just draw the ears and erased at the corners a little bit, so it look like it is behind the hairs. So I think almost everything is in a golden color already. So then I just have to create the layer at the top, but forgotten I added at the bottom. So now I'm adding a new layer at the top. I'm going to draw the crown. So for the crown I'm just drawing a simple cartoon style crown, and I want it to be a golden style one. So I just created the basic shape using the lasso fill tool, and for the clipping layer I'm using the add blending mode and going to add the highlights. Then I'm using soft pastel brush, and I want it to be more glowing crown, so I'm using bright yellow color to add the highlights. And then for the dark shadow details, I'm creating another clipping layer with the blending mode, linear burn, and using the same soft pastel brush with reduced size. I'm adding some dark details here and there. And this crown is also going to be like little bit behind the hairs, French hair. So once I'm done with the crown, I just going to erase little bit at the bottom to make it look like not edgy thing. So I'm just added the dark details. So then I'm using the eraser at the main crown layer to erase a little bit so that it looks like it is little bit behind the hair. Since the entire line is in a golden color and we have to make a golden crown, so we have to more concentrate more on the highlights and shadow parts. So now everything is done with the line, so I'm going to concentrate on the background details now. First, I'm creating a layer at the bottom and drawing the leaves, some green color leaves and flowers. I'm not much specific about the leaves. I'm just going on a random way and adding some details so that it looks more matching with the golden line. So now I'm adding grass like details using the dip and hard brush at the top layer. So then I'm going to add the text details. So the text details, two things I'm going to add. One is the VIRAT KOHLI, and another one is the once a king, always a king. So I'm going to add these two details. So I'm mentioning the font details on the screen itself. So if you want to use you can use that. Okay, and adding black color to the VIRAT KOHLI is not good, so I'm using some BG like color. And after changing the background, it looks really nice and clear. Now it is looking little bit blurry one. So now I'm adding once a king, always a king. So, and I want it to be at the top. Okay, now I'm done. So then at the bottom layer, I'm adding some pastel background. You have to make sure the background color is not overtaking our main concept or our main details. So then I'm adding another layer to draw the flag. For this I'm using the same brush, soft pastel brush, and I'm using tricolor of our Indian flag and using blue color for the chakra. So then I'm creating clipping layer for this and using fur or grass brush to add the some glowy details for this. And the blending mode I used for this layer is add. So you can see that the flag looks a little bit shinier after adding these details. So since it is based on the concept, we have to make sure our main details that represent what the real concept of the illustration. So here the main two things are the king Kohli, that we are using a lion with a crown, and this is from Indian thing. So I'm using Indian flag. So this is the final illustration. I hope you really like it. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel. Thank you.